Alright. Hello guys, I'm here to show you my Golemancer build. I'm level 74 currently, so it's pretty unfinished. I'll be leveling it a lot more. Um, I don't do well, I kinda do the typical Golemancer type thing, but mine's more of the aura focus, as you can see with leadership, and I have only these two aura clusters. I was gonna go down here, but that was too many points to just path just for that. And picking up 3-point jewel sockets like this just will end up in more damage overall because you can grab so many primordial harmonies, which is maximum 20% damage for each type of golem you have. I'm gonna work my way to getting a what are they called? It's the one that increases the amount of golems you can have. What one is that called again? Here, let me look it up on the wiki quick. PoE wiki. Golem. The Anima Stone. So you can summon one additional golem at a time. If you have 3 primordial jewels, you can summon one additional golem at a time. Currently, I'm using a bunch of primordial eminence and a few primordial harmony, which I would like not to, but it's the best I can do at the moment for how much currency I have. As you can see, I don't have a lot. Um, I haven't done any experimenting with Bisco's collar, but you can just use a Sid Breath. You can do +1 curse if you have that. You can do increased minion damage if you have that. The rest of the gear is really simple. I feel minion speed on at least one of the rings is very important. The second ring, it's important, but I couldn't get resistances capped from other gears because I don't have the currency to buy better. So really what you want your gloves to be is some ES, life, and dexterity, because the dexterity requirement of the GMP is 114, and yeah, it's a very dex starved build. As you can see, I have a lot of strength with not much strength on my gear and everything like that. Um, the 6 link I'm using in a Skin of the Loyal, I have GMP, Spell Echo, Flame Golem, Fire Pen, Empower, and mini damage. I like this setup because I'm not running the second curse, so I'm not getting as much penetration, so just getting the Fire Pen in there rather than like minion elemental resistance or something like that. I'm using elemental weakness because I wanted to do party play, but that might not work out. So at that point, I think Flam ability would be best, just for the fact that it would. Let me find it real quick. Do I have it? Yeah, right here. It's just more penetration. So I'll just drop elemental weakness, and they have a chance to be ignited, which is really good for flame golems because flame golems really like to ignite. Um, I'm using some auras. As you can see, there's discipline. I have anger on a generosity because I'm using elemental equilibrium and I don't want to mess that up. I also have an arctic armor and a level 1 clarity. So with discipline up, I am at 2.6k and 3.8k life. That will go up as I level more. Some tips I have for this: Convocation, if you don't have Primordial Might, which makes your golems more aggressive, so they're more like SRS, I would recommend it. You can use it offensively or defensively. I use it offensively more so because it's a faster play style and it's a lot more fun. Flesh Offering, enough said there. It's pretty much like a mini Vol Haste. Some things that I looked over. Flame Dash is really helpful for just going through, if you want to do labs and stuff like that. Flame Dash would be really good because it helps you get over those points where there's walls in your way or where there's like, I don't know, you have to get over something. I'm going to do the first map with the Biscos, see how that goes. We'll do a tier 4 and we'll see, like, see if I'm res cap first of all. Yeah. Okay, good. As you can see, it does a lot of damage. And then ramp, speed it up here a little bit.
I'm ready and not
One thing I don't like about Convocation that much is that its cooldown is pretty bad. I like to use it offensively, and like I'll just use it randomly, and it will just screw me over when I want to get my golems on a packs. Desecrate there just to keep my flush offering going. And just it's pretty simple. I like this build because I can, you know, watch Netflix or something while playing it. It's pretty tanky with Arctic armor, everything of that nature. You could try slower proj if you want to do like boss killing with it, and if you have the anima stone and stuff like that. If you want to do like boss killing, I'd recommend giving slower proj a try for like at Zeri, maybe Shaper, but I wouldn't use it for mapping or just even like map bosses for that matter, because it's just your golems have enough damage for it. It's a pretty simple build, as you can see. You just kind of run along, keep your flesh offering up. You chuck a Orb of Storms, or not an Orb of Storms, a Ball Lightning, and it will help make your golems target, because the golem AI is a lot like zombie AI. So if you cast towards something, they will actually attack it. Where if you're not casting towards it, they're more defensive. So if you get hit, they might attack. But a lot of the times they just sit there and absorb damage and don't actually attack, unless you have Primordial Might, which is how, if you were watching Dignity's stream, he was doing an Elementalist and he would just die and let his golems kill Shaper. So it really depends on how you want to play the character. Elementalist, I think, is more budget friendly because you get a free golem and then they're immune to elemental damage, so I believe that way is the supreme boss killer. I'm just doing Occultist because I feel it's more damage and it's faster mapping just in general, opposed to, say, Elementalist, where you don't have many bonuses from your passive tree or your ascendancy. If you want to, you can just go Elementalist, get your 2 Clay Shapers, and then maybe some Primordial Harmonies and Eminences, and then you can just level like that, and then spec out of the Elementalist node, because you really only need that one node. And then you'll spec out of it, and you can just go straight back to like Necromancer later on once you get the Anima Stone. I didn't feel like doing that because my build's more of like around the anger and just scaling my sorry, I'm focusing on getting this monster, but mine's more of I want to get anger on him and then buff it. So I just went for a Necromancer right away, but I don't think it was the best choice, because you could still do this as an Elementalist, but you'll have an extra golem, maybe a little bit less damage, and then, alright, here's the boss fight. Let me just get my flesh offering up, just watch this boss melt. Like, granted it's T4 map, but still, that was really quick. It was insane. And then we'll do one with the Sid Breath in. There's not much of a loot difference. Well, yeah. Like, currency-wise, there's a somewhat of a difference. I think when you get into higher tier maps, and that's what a lot of it's used for. I was using it on my Ballsparker, and I could tell, like, I was getting more currency drops, but it just wasn't worth it to use it. And then there's really simple. I'm just gonna do that. Boom. It just melts. It's quite easy to play. As I said, gearing's really simple. I believe I'm gonna go for a bone helmet as soon as I hit 75, which is, I believe, the cut or when you can start using them. I'm gonna look for a decent one of those because that gives 40% increased minion damage, which is actually pretty huge. what else is there to say about the build? It's a pretty simple, it's my first summoner build, so I leveled as SRS. You level as SRS until you can equip your Clay Shapers at 41. And then you switch to golems, and you can have a 4-link golem, which is what I used for quite a while. And what you'll want for your 4-link is GMP, you'll want Spell Echo, then your Flame Golem, and then you'll want something like Control Destruction or Empower if you have a leveled Empower. And your 6-link, it can vary. You could do minion life if you wanted to. Minion elemental resistances is pretty good with quality because it gives more elemental damage. You could use elemental focus too, but I wouldn't recommend that because your golems actually do ignite quite often, and that leads to some extra damage that's just for free really by your golems igniting. So it's down to preference and how you want to play your character really. This is my first summoner, and as I said before, it's kind of a learning experience. I've learned that Convocation is such a great tool for aggressive and defensive play. I'm gonna portal out here real quick and grab a Remnant of Corruption, see if I can level that fear up a little bit. What else? Yeah, it's really simple if you can get into it. I believe, ooh, dang it. Believe some decent rolled Clay Shapers, you can get them for 4 chaos, and that's like 26% increased life, which is kind of minimal, but my golems are sitting at 28k life right now, and that's because I have pretty high level golems because of Empower in my Skin of the Loyal. You don't need that. You could do this build with a Tabula if you really wanted to, and then you could switch to a Skin of the Loyal, you could go low life. It's just really easy to scale damage for it, because you just need, like, I don't even have, okay, that's whatever. I don't even have a lot of mini damage. I think here, that's 25% there. I think that's it. Yeah, 25% there, and I'm scaling a lot of the my damage through Anger with Generosity, which is actually pretty good. And then more of it comes from the boatload of attack and cast speed from Primordial Eminence, and then just Primordial Harmony, just in general. It's a lot of damage, and then it makes it easier if your golems die, but it's 313 mana cost to cast it, so it's pretty big. And then a lot comes from here too. Commander of Darkness is really good. Auras you cast grant 10% increased damage to you and your allies, 5% attack and cast speed, and then they get 20% to all elemental resistance. I believe that's all scaled by your aura of effectiveness that you get on the tree. So say you have influence, 14% increased effect. I believe, this is what I've heard from people, that it increases the 10% increased damage. So aura effectiveness is really good. And then there's also Mistress of Sacrifice. That it's, you know, it makes mapping faster, it makes it feel a lot smoother for you. And then Spirit Eater, which just 30% increased damage, and then 40% damage increase if you've consumed a corpse recently, and 2% increased attack and cast speed. It's pretty solid. Each of these jewels is like 30 chaos, but I think you only need 2, so that's 60 chaos, and then all these eminence I have you don't need. They're 2 chaos I think each. If you don't have a lot of these jewels, I'd recommend just speccing into Faith and Steel, like right here. That's a lot of, or it's not a whole lot of energy shield. It's all res, and then it gives you 15%. That's still pretty solid. And then there's a little bit of int there that helps increase your ES. You could spec into, where else? You can maybe pick up Alchemist depending on what flasks you're using. I'm gonna eventually path up to Arcane Focus, maybe even Essence Surge, because it will help. Because I'm a hybrid build, it will help just like make my ES regen faster. And I don't really know how to calculate the DPS of the golems, so you can probably find that somewhere. But it's a pretty simple build. You don't need any damage on the tree, which I found quite astonishing. It just feels good to play. It's easy in the fact that you just kind of chuck a ball lightning, put the curse on them, and then all the mobs just die. Let's do this one more map, and then I'll let you guys go. Like, look at this. It's kind of absurd. Leveling was really easy. I died a few times because I played pretty poorly, but that's just how I, like, normally how I play poorly, because I'm half asleep most of the time. And yeah, it's pretty easy to get going, as you can see. I mean, I have a 21 flame golem, but I'm pretty sure it'd be the same if I had a 15 flame golem. Let's grab another one. Pretty sure I have another flame golem somewhere. Yeah, right there. A level 16 flame golem, and then we'll pick up a level 16 GMP. And we'll see how this goes. I'm just gonna grab another remnant of corruption, throw it at this. Boom. Not quite what I wanted, but it'll do. Still, damage is pretty good. I mean, it's not like insane, and it's a hexproof one, so yeah, like once you get your golems ganged up on it, it's pretty easy, as you can see there. This is just proving, like, this is the golem that I leveled before I switched to the 21 golem, and if you play other characters and you have flame golems, just if you want to, quality isn't essential, but it's really nice to have. It's more life and our percent increased damage in life. It's not like a more multiplier, but it's still 20% increased damage, and that's even scaling more, which is quite crazy. And then life as well, which the life isn't too essential because golems already have, I don't know, a level 15 golem has 17k. So just look at the damage on this boss. Take a lot of damage, but most of the time the golems are there to tank it up for you. So overall it's a solid build. I've enjoyed leveling it. Can't say how far I'm gonna take it. I might post an update video on it, and it's, you know, from right there then on. I do, if you can't get a Sid Breath with a good corruption on it, just go for an amulet and chuck a Essence of Fear at it and just get more minion movement speed. That's always helpful for like summoners. Minion damage is always helpful as well. Life and resistances. You could get to 4.2k, 4.3k with better gear, and probably 3k ES, 4k or 3.5k ES with how my current character is set up. I'm probably gonna forget to put the character profile in my description, so if you guys want to see it, just make sure you comment so I can actually link you my character profile so you can look at how my character is set up, and if you want to keep track of my progression, you can do that. Yeah, so if you enjoyed the guide, thumbs up. If you need any more information, just let me know. I'll do my best. I might try to put out a build guide, but I'm not the best at those. So take care, everyone, and have a nice day.